Welcome everyone. Let's see. I'm gonna see if messages are working this time. I think I set it up differently. How's everyone feeling today? I'll give you guys a few minutes to join, set up a nice space to practice. Grab some blocks if you'd like. We'll just go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. So you can sit on your shins, you can sit in a cross-legged position, whatever feels good to you. Let your hands rest on your knees and shrug into the shoulders a couple times. So just start to loosen up your upper back, that space between the shoulder blades, maybe moving one shoulder at a time, squeeze it up towards your ear, drop it down your back. And then let the head roll side to side a couple times, softly. You can stop in the center as your chin drops in towards your sternum. And take a big breath into the back of your neck, fill it up. Take a long breath out. We'll take it over your right ear to right shoulder. You can roll side to side a couple times on that side or stop right ear to right shoulder and take a big breath there. Rolling back through center, start to explore the other side. Bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Again, rolling back and forth a couple times or stopping on that side and taking a big breath in, big breath out. We'll just come back through center. You can turn your head side to side a couple times and then just find a comfortable seat here for a moment. Let the eyes close and begin to bring your awareness to your breath. So we want to start to think as we're breathing in that we're pulling air, pulling oxygen all the way down into the lower belly and then filling up through the ribs, the chest, all the way up underneath the shoulder blades or the collarbones. And then as you're breathing out, reversing that flow, softly pull your navel towards your spine, draw the ribs back in, let the chest decompress. As you're breathing in, see if you can feel yourself sitting up a little taller, lengthening through the crown of the head. And as you're breathing out, send your energy down into the ground, connect with the earth. And just keep our awareness here for a couple more long, steady breaths in and out. You want to try to breathe mostly in and out through your nose throughout our practice. And there's an audible quality to your breath, especially on the exhalation, kind of an ocean sound. You can hear it internally at the back of your throat. And with your next breath in, reach your hands up, look up towards your thumbs. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the ground and walk them forward, whether you're sitting cross-legged or on your shins. If you're on your shins and you'd like to take a cross-legged seat, it's a little more of a hip stretch as you fold forward. Now think about breathing all the way down to your lower back. Long breath out, fold in a little bit more. Just a couple breaths here. If your elbows want to bend at all, draw them out to the sides. Let your head drop. Walk your hands back up to seated. Take a big breath in, reach up, look up, stretch. Exhale, your right hand or fingertips come down to your side. Stretch long into your left side body. You can spiral your gaze up underneath your arm. Take a breath in, come back through center, press the palms together and look up. Exhale, left palm or fingertips come down. Stretch long into the right side body, maybe spiraling your gaze up. Good, take a breath in, come back through center. As you exhale, open twist to your right and bring your left hand. Inhale, come back through center, reach up, look up, stretch. Exhale, open twist to your left. Lift through the heart, spiral the gaze back. Good, take a breath in, come back up, reach up, look up. Exhale your hands to your knees. Again, you can do this in either seat. If you're cross-legged, your hands might be out a little wider. So as you're breathing in, we're gonna think kind of cat-cow here, awakening the spine, but we're in a seat instead of in tabletop. So as you're breathing in, start to pull the front body forward, get a little longer here. Wrap your elbows back as you pull your heart forward, take your gaze up. And as you're breathing out, coil inwards with the front body, start to expand into the back body. Pull your navel to your spine, your chin to your chest. Take a long breath in, pull the front body forward, shoulders back and down, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, round in, expanding into the back body as you contract into the front. Take a couple more, make it nice and slow motion, long, full breath in. Long breath out. Maybe pausing there at the bottom of your breath. And just feeling that hollowing sensation in the lower belly. Good, start to find your way to tabletop. So you can come to hands and knees. Stretch your right foot back, toes curled under, rock it back and forth. And just start to mobilize that foot, all the fascia wrapping your ankle, your calf muscles. Good. Take the left foot back, toes curled under, rock it back and forth. Move it around, wake up that foot. Your ankle, your toes can get tight, and that translates up your leg. Wake up your calf muscles, move them around. Bring it back in. Take that right foot back again. This time spiral your right heel down. Take your weight more into your left hand. Your left foot might start to point away or to the left more. Take a breath in as you reach your hand up. Now you can keep your gaze straight ahead. You could look down to help build balance, or maybe look up. Keep your awareness with your core. Keep pulling navel to spine, wrapping the ribs in. Now you can stay here or start to float the right leg. If you lean a little forward of your wrist when you lift your leg like that, move your hand forward a little tiny bit. So your hand's still underneath your shoulder. Right foot's flexing. Reach from your left hand through your right fingertips. From your right heel through the crown of your head, get a little longer. Take one more breath and maybe pulse that right leg a little higher than you can hold it. Bring it back to the ground. And just make some big circles. Stretch that left foot back. Spiral the left heel down. Take your weight more into the right hand. Let the right foot turn away from you as you reach your left hand up. Now we're still pressing the left foot down for a couple breaths, so no rush to start to lift it. You can keep your gaze down straight ahead or maybe look up. Keep pulling navel to spine, so rather than letting the front body flare out, pull it back together there. Wrap the ribs in. Stay here or start to lift the left foot. If you shift forward of your wrist or your hand as you do that, scoot your hand forward more. Left foot flexing. Think about reaching out of your right arm, out of your wrist, out of your shoulder, up through the left fingertips. Long line of energy from your left heel through the crown of your head. Keep pulling navel to spine. Take one more breath here, maybe pulsing the left leg. Bring it back down. Good. Make some big circles, go in the opposite direction that you did last time, if you remember. Good. Now walk the hands long towards the front of your mat. So coming to puppy pose, you can bring your forehead to the ground. That can be where you stay today. Try to let this opening come into your shoulders, your chest, your upper back. So just imagine with every breath out, your chest, your heart is dropping in a little bit more. If you're working deeper here into this space, if your chest is coming closer to the ground, you could bring your chin to the ground, keep your gaze between the fingertips, but make sure you can still comfortably breathe wherever you are. Tops of the feet are still engaging with the ground. Start to push back into your hands, lift the chest and shoulders, walk your hands back underneath you. Good, now we're gonna take the right foot out, but not back this time, out to your right. Let your foot land so it's in a straight line with your left knee and it's parallel to the side of your mat. And then revolve the outer edge, the knife edge of your right foot down to the ground. So you're trying to press the whole sole of your foot down to the ground. Good. Now press your foot down and feel that inner thigh line engage a little bit more. You might think about dropping the right hip down more, if it feels comfortable to do so. Now you can stay here, or two options, come down to your forearms and hang out there, or walk into puppy pose with the upper body. So that could be to the forehead, or maybe deeper. Take a couple deep breaths. Still engaging the right foot down with the ground. To come back up. Bring the right knee in. Good. Stretch your left foot, not back, but out to the left. In line with the right knee. Parallel to the side of your mat. Now revolve the outer edge of your foot down to the ground. So get as much of the sole of your foot connected to the earth as you can. And start to press down so you feel that inner thigh line light up a little bit more. Maybe if this left hip is hiked up really high, you see if you can drop it down a little bit. Just take a couple deep breaths here. You can stay here or come down to the forearms and stay there. Or puppy pose with the upper body. Continuing to engage the left foot with the ground wherever you are and using your breath. Start to come back up to your hands. Bring the left knee in. Any little movements you'd like, you could rock side to side, make some circles, cat-cow, side body stretch. And then whenever you're ready, curl your toes underneath you. Start to float your knees from the ground. Try to keep your knees bent 90 degrees here. Drop the knees as low as you can. Press up out of your shoulders, so dome into the upper back. Extend forward through the crown of your head. Now you could start to drag your hands and feet towards each other if you really want to light up your core. Feel some fire in the belly. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, try to keep the knees bent 90 degrees as long as you can as you start to send the hips up and back and your head down between your arms. So you're gripping the mat with your toes, knees are still bent. Drop your head down so you're feeling your shoulders and your chest opening. And then remind your shoulder blades to drop down your back, so like your neck is growing a little bit longer. Check in with your breath. Start to rock forward, finding a high plank. So notice if you need to move your hands or feet at all. And then keeping your hands and feet there. Take a breath in, rocking forward a little bit. As you exhale, glide your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Now maybe you start to play with sinking one heel down at a time. Pedaling out the feet. Start to tiptoe your way towards the top of your mat. You can take your feet about hips width distance apart. Let the knees bend and fold. Now concentrate your awareness and your breath into that space in the upper back between the shoulder blades. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Let your head get a little heavier. Good, one more big breath in. Sigh it out. Keep your knees a little bit bent, a little bit buoyant here. And with your next breath in, come all the way up to standing. Sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a big breath in, reaching up, look up to the thumbs. Exhale, fold it forward, relax your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back. Drop your back knee to the ground. Take a breath in, sweep your hands forward and up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Draw your outer left hip forward, your outer right hip back. And then see if your pelvis feels level to the ground. If you need to maybe drop the outer right hip down, lift the left hip up. You might end up lifting up out of your lunge a little bit to do that, coming to more of a 90-90 degree lunge, finding that level pelvis, and then seeing if you can keep that as you maybe drop in again. Seeing if that feels any different. Take a big breath in, sweep your hands forward, up, maybe you look up. Now as you exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Lift your back leg, your back knee, walk your hands to the back of your mat. Drop low into Skandasana. Let your right toes point up. You can keep your fingertips on the ground or press your palms together if you want to challenge your balance a little bit more. Now you might still have a bend in your knee if your inner thigh line or your hamstrings are feeling tight, but flex that right foot and drag your foot back towards you. Now walk your hands back towards the front of your mat, facing forward. Frame your foot, press down, step back to high plank. Good. And taking a couple breaths here. Think about wrapping your elbows towards the back of your mat, broadening across the collarbones, lengthening through the crown of the head, forward. Pulling your navel to your spine, lifting the hips a little bit higher, wrapping the ribs up and back. Squeeze both thighs. Take one more breath into your lower back. As you exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Interlace the fingers behind your lower back. Squeeze the heels of the hands together. Start to wrap your elbows towards each other, reaching your hands towards the back of your mat. See if you can lift your thumbs or your forearms even a millimeter off of your glutes. Take your gaze forward, but keep the back of the neck long. So if it feels like there's any wrinkles in the back of the neck, take them out. Take one more breath in. Tops of the feet are still pressing down. Exhale, release it forward. You can bring your palms back to frame the chest. Curl your toes underneath you. As you inhale, press up to high plank. Exhale to downward facing dog. You can always keep your knees down on the ground, lowering through those chaturangas or pressing back up to high plank to make it a little easier. Now take a breath in. You might step your left foot more to the middle of your mat. As you inhale, the right heel reaches up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, curl it forward. Inhale, reach the right heel up and back. Bend your right knee. Start to stack right hip over left. Maybe your left knee is bent. Take a couple deep breaths. Maybe play with moving your right knee around a little bit, trying to reach it higher. And as you inhale, come back to three-legged dog. Flex your right foot, square your hips, drop the outer right hip down. Take an extra breath in and press into your hands, lengthen up through the right heel. Reach a little higher. As you exhale, curl knee to nose, step forward. Inhale, step the left foot forward. About hips width distance apart from your right. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop in, grab opposite elbows. Let your head hang. Take a big breath into your upper back. Fill it up. Audible exhalation, side out. Inhale, come back up to halfway lifted. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Take your back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep the hands forward and up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Start to see if you can draw your outer left hip back, your outer right hip forward. So start to drag the right knee towards the left heel as you do that. And then you might be dropping your outer left hip down, lifting the outer right hip up. Maybe lifting up higher, maybe even coming to a 90-90. So both knees are 90 degrees. Keep dropping the outer left hip down. See if you can find a nice neutral pelvis and then keep that as you drop back in, maybe. So the legs are strong. Take one more breath in, sweep your hands forward, up, maybe you look up. As you exhale, bring your hands to the ground. Lift your back leg, walk your hands to the back of your mat. Drop in, low skandasana. Fingers on the ground, palms pressing together. Let your left toes point skyward. Maybe you have a bend in that knee still. Dig your heel down, drag it back towards you. Start to walk your hands back towards the front of your mat, facing forward. Frame the left foot, press down, step back. Pause here. Again, make sure your hands are shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. Wrap your elbows towards the back of your mat. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Press up out of your shoulders, dome into the upper back. Lift the hips a little bit higher. Pull navel to spine. Wrap the ribs up and back. Like you're trying to pull your entire front body up and away from your mat. Like your mat was hot lava. You want to get as far away from it as you can with your front body. Squeeze both thighs. Maybe a little rock back and forth. Take one more strong breath in this high plank. As you exhale, press forward with the toes as you lower all the way to the belly. Try to keep your elbows over your wrists. Come all the way down. Good. This time interlacing the fingers behind the lower back. Start to peel your heart from the ground, reaching the hands back. You can lift the feet and legs this time if you'd like. Rather than letting your arms or your hands rest on your glutes, lift them up a little bit higher. Keep the back of the neck long. If you're lifting the feet and legs, try to squeeze them in towards each other. Shoulders squeezing together. Broaden across the chest. One more big breath in. Puff up. As you exhale, let it go. Let your head rest for a moment. Bend both knees and dip the feet side to side. Good. Curl the toes under. Palms framing the chest. Wrap your elbows towards each other. Start to find a little bit of that core body awareness like we had in the high plank, pulling your front body up and back, wrapping the ribs in. Start to wrap your elbows towards each other. Squeeze the thighs so your kneecaps lift. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Take a breath in. As you exhale, press up to high plank. Downward facing dog. Good. Step your right foot in a little bit. Inhale, the left leg reaches up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose, round it forward. Inhale, reach the left heel up and back. Even if your right knee is still generously bent, start to bend your left knee, stack the left hip over the right. Let your head keep dropping down. You're still opening into your chest and your shoulders. Just reach your left foot more to your right. See if you can just explore with that top knee a little bit, maybe reaching it higher. Make sure you're still breathing. Now inhale back to three-legged dog. Flex your foot, square your hips. Drop that outer left hip down. Take an extra long breath in here. Press into the hands, lengthen up through the left heel. As you exhale, curl knee to nose, step forward. Inhale, step the right foot forward, hips width distance apart. Take a breath in, halfway lift, broaden the chest, look forward a little bit. As you exhale, fold all the way in, let your head go. You can grab opposite elbows if you'd like. Maybe switch up the forearm that's in front. Swing and sway side to side, or find a little bit of a bounce. You could even just hang in the middle and shake your head. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Turn your toes out a little bit wider. As you exhale, start to sink down into Malasana. Get low, sit your hips low. You could sit on a block if you don't want to come all the way down. I like to rock side to side a little bit here. Now take your left fingertips to the ground so your left arm is still inside of that knee on your fingertips or your palm. Take a big breath in, sweep your right arm forward and up, looking either to your right or maybe up. Exhale, bring it back down. Take the right fingertips out to the side, right arm still inside of your leg. Take a big breath in, sweep your left arm up, look up, stretch. Exhale, bring it back down. Press into your palms or your fingertips, start to send your hips high. Heel toe your feet back in a little bit and fold. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, start to lift the left leg, bending into the right knee. So we're not just stepping our foot back. Imagine you're starting to reach back through that left heel. Try to keep up high on the fingertips. You could be on blocks here. And keep your chest kind of lifted and broad, like you're shining the heart forward still. Bend more and more into the right knee. Keep reaching back through the left heel, but try not to set your foot down. It's really hard. You should be feeling that right leg. Still find a little length through the crown of the head. Bend more into the right knee. Reach, 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 reach. And set it down. Walk your hands towards the back of your mat. This time, instead of just coming to Skandasana, we're going to come to sit. So you might bring that left foot in a little bit more. And drop your left knee out to the side. Right toes are pointing high. Start to walk your right fingertips or your palm over towards your right foot. It doesn't have to come all the way. It could be next to your knee, anywhere between the knee and the foot. Now start to take a breath in, reaching your left arm up, tilt to your right. So think about reaching towards that right foot, or maybe just towards the front of your mat. So you're stretching into the left side body. You could take a strap or think about grabbing the foot if that feels accessible for you. Maybe you're taking your gaze up underneath that left arm. Let the right shoulder drop so you're not squeezing it up near your neck. Inhale back up to seated. Take your left palm out to your side, a little bit behind you, and start to press your hips forward. So you're lifting up, reaching the right arm forward, and then towards the back of your mat. You might pull that back foot in a little bit if it feels out a little wide. So your hips are coming closer to getting over that left knee. You can reach the right hand just back, or maybe even more if you keep pressing the hips forward. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, make a big circle with that right hand again as you drop your hips back down. Start to walk your way back towards the front of your mat, however you want to get there. So you're going to end up lunging into the right leg. Left palm underneath the left shoulder. First, start to drag your feet towards each other a little bit, and then set that hand up. Now keep that traction between your feet. Keep dragging them together. As you inhale, reach your right arm up. Keep lifting through the back of the left leg. Keep dragging the feet together. Find length from your left heel through the crown of your head. You can look straight ahead to your right. You could look up to your right hand. Take one more breath in if it feels good. You might reach that right arm long, stretching the right side body. As you exhale, bring it down. Press down, step back. Take it through your vinyasa, however you'd like to flow to downward facing dog. With your next breath in, you can step, hop, jump, or tiptoe your way to the top of your mat. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Start to lift the right leg. Send the right heel back. Start to bend into your left leg. Your fingertips are still underneath your shoulders, or maybe your hands are on blocks. You don't want your right hand jacking up a lot higher than your right hip a lot higher than the left, so drop it down. Bend a lot into the left knee. Keep your chest lifted and broad, heart shining forward. And start to bend more into the left leg. Think about reaching back through the right heel. So you're still reaching forward through the crown of your head, through your heart, forward, as you reach back through the right heel. Bend more into the left knee, feeling a little fire, a little heat building there. Keep reaching back, reach back, 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 and as slowly as you can, set that foot down. Walk your way towards the back of your mat. Almost like coming down to Skandasana, you might move your foot in more to come down to sit. Making any adjustments you need. Right foot's in, right knee's out, dropping out to the side. Start to walk your left fingertips towards the left foot. Anywhere between the knee and the foot, you could grab the foot if that feels comfortable. Now take a breath in, reach your right arm up. As you exhale, start to tilt so that you're not looking at this. You're not looking at your left foot, you're stretching more into the side body. So you're either still looking straight ahead or maybe starting to spiral the gaze up. As you tilt, stretch into the right side. Make sure that left shoulder is not bunching up around your neck. Drop it down, let your elbow bend if you need to, or walk your head further. Make sure you're breathing. So it's not about grabbing the foot. You might just be reaching long out of your fingertips. We'll inhale back up to seated. Left hand at your side. Make any adjustments you need. Press into that hand. Start to press your hips up and forward. You might drag the left foot in more. Reach the left hand forward and then towards the back of your mat. You might have to check in with the fingertips. If they're turned in, this isn't going to feel too good. So they're turned either forward or out more as you start to reach back. If you're starting to reach, instead of just to the back of your mat, more open, keep pressing your hips forward. Keep pressing the left foot to the ground and take a big breath. And as you exhale, bring it back down. And again, start to come back to the front of your mat, however you'd like to get there. You're back in a lunge, hands framing the left foot. Drag your feet towards each other, really light up that inner thigh line, and then right palm underneath the right shoulder. Take a breath in, reach your left arm up. Good. I'm about to lose my hair clip. Now you can stay there, just reaching the left arm up. Keep lifting through the back of the right leg. Drag your feet towards each other. Take one more breath here. You're still lifting up out of the right shoulder if it feels good. Stretch your left arm long, stretching the left side body. And as you exhale, bring it back down, frame the left foot. Press down, step back, take it through your vinyasa. All the way to downward facing dog. a breath in, stretch the right leg up and back. As you exhale, draw your right leg forward, setting up for one-legged pigeon. So bring your right foot towards the right side of the mat. Drop your right knee down towards the right wrist, probably a 45-degree angle to the front of your mat. And then you can start to bring that back leg down. You might want to scoot it back more. You could also take a prop under your hip here. Or if you know about reclining pigeon, you could roll onto your back and take a reclining pigeon instead if you like that more. Now you might have scooted that left leg back a little bit more. Let the hips drop down, but then instead of just letting them drop down, start to drag your left knee towards your right knee. Squeeze the ground with your legs. So you're pulling your outer left hip forward, your outer right hip back, and maybe lifting up higher as you do this. So really activate the legs. Again, just drag the left knee towards the right knee. Pull the outer left hip forward. Lift through the heart. So just kind of lift your chest, pull your shoulders back and down. Take one more breath here. Legs are really active. As you exhale, start to come down. You can let the hips drop in a little bit more and come down to the forearms. You can stay on your forearms. You can walk your hands further in. Maybe you see if you can let your head rest here on your hands, on a block, or even on the ground. Check in with the hips. Make sure you're not letting that left hip roll up and back a lot. See if you can draw the outer left hip a little forward and down even here. Use your breath. So long, steady breaths in and out. You really have that audible quality to the breath, especially as you're breathing out. Just take one or two more here. Start to come back up to the hands. If you scooted your leg back a lot, you might scoot it back forward. Curl the toes under, pressing into the hands, lift the right leg, step it back to downward facing dog. Or if you like to, you can lift the right leg, keep your knee pretty generously bent and just make some big circles with the knee. Both feet back to the ground. Take a breath in, stretch the left leg up and back. As you exhale, draw the left leg forward. Set up for the second side. So take your foot towards the right side of your mat. Drop your knee down so it's pointing towards your left wrist. About 45 degrees to the front of your mat. You can start to drop your back knee down from here, but if it's comfortable too, scoot the leg back more. Again, maybe you decide to take some props underneath your left hip here, or a reclining pigeon instead. So as much as you comfortably can, scoot that back leg back. Maybe you're letting the hips drop in here. But then start to activate. So draw the right knee towards the left knee. And notice as you're doing this, it's like squeezing the ground with your legs, pulling your outer right hip forward, pulling your outer left hip back. And you start to lift up higher as you do this, as you activate the legs, squeeze the ground with your legs. Now, pressing into your fingertips, lift up out of the heart, draw your shoulders back and down. Drag that right knee towards the left knee even more. Outer right hip draws forward, outer left hip back. Take one more breath in, maybe you look up a tiny bit. As you exhale, let the hips drop in. Start to walk your hands forward. You can come to your forearms and stay there. You can let your head rest on a block, on your hands, on the ground. Maybe you're even closing your eyes. So you're bringing your awareness more inward. Just checking in with your breath. Maybe still thinking about drawing the outer right hip a little forward and down. Lengthening through the crown of the head forward just a little tiny bit. Visualize as you're breathing that you're drawing the energy of your breath, of your awareness, all the way down to the lower back, to the base of the spine. Take 1, maybe 2 more breaths here. Start to come back up to your hands. If you scooted that back leg back a lot, you might scoot it forward as you curl your toes underneath you. Press into the hands or to lift the left leg. Step it back to downward facing dog, or if you did it on the last side and you want to again, lift the left leg, keep your knee pretty generously bent, and just make some big rotations, some big circles with the left leg. You can bring both feet back to the ground and start to make your way towards the top of your mat. Halfway lift, find some length. Exhale, fold, let the knees bend, let the head hang heavy. Take a breath in, halfway lift. As you exhale, start to come all the way down to seated. Finding a boat pose of your choice. So you can start with your hands underneath your thighs if you'd like. You can take a half or a full boat. So if you start with the hands under the legs, use that to help you draw your knees in more, lift up, try to sit up higher, lift the chest, draw your shoulders back and down. And think about squeezing your legs together. So if you're in a half boat, your knees are bent 90 degrees. If you're in a full boat, the legs are straight. Both variations, you're squeezing the legs together a lot. You could start to reach your hands forward, but keep lifting through the heart and drawing your shoulders back and down. Good. Take a breath in, lift a little bit higher, reach your hands up. As you exhale, come to reclining boat. So mid to lower back. Try to slow it down. It might happen pretty quickly when you first start practicing this stuff. You can keep your legs lifted higher to make this easier or lower to make it harder, but you're still squeezing them together. Still reaching your hands towards the front of your mat or maybe towards your toes. Chin to chest. As you inhale, lift the feet up, reach them straight up towards the sky, reach your hands up towards your feet. This is the last moment of core burn. Curl the tailbone a little higher off the ground. Reach up through the hands, upper back a little higher off the ground. Let everything drop down. Your head, your arms out to the sides, your knees out wide, feet together. So you can let all that inner line just stretch out a little bit. You might dip the knees side to side. Drop your head side to side, soften the neck and chest. They get kind of tight from that core stuff too. And then take a big breath into your belly, fill it up. Open your mouth, let that go. You might use your hands here to press the knees back together. The knees are hips width distance apart. Take a breath in, stretch the arms long towards the back of the room, reach through the fingertips. As you exhale, hands at your sides, press down to lift the hips into bridge pose. Good, now you can stay here. You could bind your hands underneath your lower back and squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit more, come up higher. Press into your feet as much as you can, drive the hips as high as you can. See if you can kind of lengthen the tailbone towards the front of the mat a little bit more. See if you feel it more in your hip flexors there. And then imagine you're squeezing a block between the inner thighs. So draw from the inner knees in to the lower belly rather than letting the knees splay out wide. Press the hips that little bit higher, your heart towards your chin. Take a breath in and a breath out. With your next breath in, keep your hips lifted, but reach the arms long towards the back of your mat. Exhale, bring it down. You can keep your hands reaching back as you just lengthen the spine back down. And then any last little movements you'd like to take, you could dip your knees side to side. Just windshield wiper the legs with your feet out wide. You could take a happy baby, grabbing the outer edges of the feet, draw the legs out wide, rock side to side. Or you could just start to find your way to Shavasana. Take the feet out wide. Hands, arms out wide. Let your palms roll open towards the sky. You can shake the feet out or drop the head side to side a couple times and just get any fidgets, any movements out of the body. And start to find your nice neutral space where you can just drop in. And take a big, full body breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out. One more, even bigger breath in. Fill it up to the top. Hold it in. Make some sound, sigh it out. You can just allow the breath to return to normal. Let the body get a little bit heavier. Letting go of any tension you might have gathered throughout this practice, this day, this week. Slowly start to wiggle out your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Circle the wrists, the ankles. And then take a big waking up breath in, stretch from fingers to toes, reach back. And as you exhale, bring your knees in towards you, maybe one at a time. Start to lift your head. Bring your forehead towards your knees as you wrap your arms around your legs, maybe grabbing for opposite elbows, maybe just grabbing opposite hands. Curling in, give yourself a nice squeeze, maybe pull the knees away from you a little bit to stretch into the upper back more. You can rock and roll back up to seated or roll to your side body, press yourself back up. Just keep the eyes soft. Take your palms together. And give yourself one final moment honoring this space, this practice. thanking yourself for dedicating the last 45 minutes to your body, to your breath. Take the thumbs to the third eye. With gratitude, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in to share this practice with me. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I hope y'all feel better after that slow but strong practice. Cool. Uh-oh, video is stuck. I'm just now seeing that. Did we have some technical difficulties? I saw a comment that said video is stuck. Oh well, sorry guys if the video got stuck. Were you able to watch it the whole time, or did it clip out on you? Listened and followed. Oh no, the video went out. Oh, shoot. I think my phone might have popped up like the low battery thing. I'm sorry, guys. That's a bummer. Well, hopefully you were able to verbally follow and test your brain out a little bit by not being able to see. I'm glad you guys are here with me. Cool. I hope y'all have a great evening. Hopefully, I'll be here 5:30 tomorrow too. So, listening skills. Yeah, Anna. Cool. Oh. All right. Well, I'll be here 5:30 tomorrow. And hopefully that won't happen again. So y'all can follow along. All right. Have a great evening. Thank you.